Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in a hadith Qudsi. So a hadith Qudsi is a hadith in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking, but it's in the words of the Prophet ﷺ in his own words. So that's what makes it different than the Quran. أَنَا عِنْدَ ظَنِّ عَبْدِي بِهِ, I am as my servant or my slave thinks of me. This is a very profound statement. أَنَا عِنْدَ ظَنِّ عَبْدِي بِهِ, I am as my slave thinks of me. This statement can change our lives, because Allah is telling us that He is what we expect from Him. He is as we think of Him. We have to be a people who think positive of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so the theme that I want to speak about today in terms of knowing Allah is one very simple theme that can help a person navigate their entire life and navigate through their storms and through the weather of their life. And that is something called Husn al-Dhann billah. Husn al-Dhann billah means to have a positive opinion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To always expect positive and good from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I want to talk about this concept and talk about what it really means, and then talk about how we can start to really apply this in our lives, and then the effect that it has. I want to give you guys an analogy. I want you guys to imagine that after this talk is over, you go outside and your mom is up, she's pulled in. Maybe she's with you, but imagine that she's not, and that she's actually come and picked you up from outside the lecture. And you get in the car and she starts to drive. And as she's driving, you ask her, because you don't recognize the route that you're taking, you ask her, where are we going? And she says to you, just wait, you'll see. Everybody imagine this? How many of you at this point are calling the police because you're so frightened? Is there anyone who's at this point calling the police, calling 911? I don't know where my mom's taking me. I'm really scared. I think she's gonna hurt me. Anyone? Okay. Why is it that you're not afraid? It's a very simple question. I mean, a very simple answer. Trust. You said it in one word. Because you trust your mother. Now, I emphasize to you that you actually don't know where you're going, right? So I want you guys to keep that in mind. You don't know where you're going, but you trust the driver. You trust that your mother is not going to take you somewhere and then leave you there in a ditch. You trust that she's not going to hurt you. And so because of that trust, even when you don't know the route, even if you don't know where this driver is taking you, you have complete trust that she is not going to harm you. You have complete trust that the driver has your best interest in mind. Do you know what that's called? That's called Husn al-Dhann. That means that, see, many of us, we hopefully have Husn al-Dhann when it comes to our mothers. We know that our mother has our best interests in mind. We have a good opinion of our mothers. We trust our mothers. And because of that trust, and because of that good opinion, we don't panic even when we don't know where she's taking us. Now, what does that have to do with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah takes us in our lives. Allah is the driver of our lives. And yet many of us, when we don't know where He's taking us, we panic. We do that thing where you call the police and say, I'm scared, I don't know where I'm going. We do that. But maybe we're not calling the police, we're calling our friend, or we're calling our family member, or we're whatever, whoever it is that we're calling. But that feeling of panic, that feeling of anxiety, is because we don't have enough trust and a good opinion of the driver. Maybe you've taken turns in your life that you never expected. Maybe you went down routes that you never wanted. But if you have a good opinion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know that He will never do something to harm you, even when you don't understand the route. I'm going to give you guys a second analogy. Have you guys ever been to the doctor before? Of course you have, right?